You're aware the U.S. considering blocking this $250 million in military assistance. This is key aid to Ukraine, which is fighting, in effect, on two fronts, eastern Ukraine, as well as the annexation of Crimea by Russia. Would blocking this aid be a gift to Russia?
Oh, absolutely, it would be. But I have to say, Jim, it's not unreasonable for this administration or any administration to review the efficacy of assistance provided to foreign governments. But I think it's particularly sensitive with Ukraine for obvious reasons for this administration in light of the president's deference to Russia and Putin. And if I listened to Joe John's reporting and the issue he brought up with potential engine sales to China. Well, that certainly has to be factored in. But I will say that the United States has a strong moral and I believe ethical commitment to help the Ukrainians defend themselves against the Russian incursions in eastern Ukraine, and of course in light of the seizure of Crimea. And of course it's hard not to juxtapose this with the push by President Trump to bring Russia back into the G7. Mm-hmm. So I hope this is resolved in the favor of Ukraine, because this is something the provision of this aid has been going on since the last administration in 2014. I think to cut them off now would be a really serious thing.
In our 2020 lead today, for the very first time, former Vice President Joe Biden, Senator Elizabeth Warren, and Senator Bernie Sanders will all stand on the same debate stage in Houston in the third Democratic debate this evening. The expectation is that both progressive firebrands, Warren and Sanders, will take it to the more moderate frontrunner and former VP, as CNN's Jeff Zeleny reports from Houston.
A Texas showdown tonight between the top three Democratic presidential candidates, marking a first in the 2020 campaign, as they all stand side by side sharing a debate stage in Houston. While Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders have faced off once already, all eyes are on Biden and Elizabeth Warren, whose competing visions represent the starkest choice for voters. Biden's advisors tell CNN the former vice president plans to question whether Warren will be able to deliver on her proposals.
Plans are great, but executing on those plans is a very different thing.
But Warren has been imploring Democrats to dream big, arguing now is not the time to play it safe.
We can't choose a candidate we don't believe in because we're scared. And we can't ask other people to vote for someone we don't believe in.
The Massachusetts senator releasing another new plan today, calling for a major expansion of Social Security to immediately increase benefits by $200 a month per person and expand benefits for the poor. To pay for it, she would require the wealthiest Americans to contribute more to the program. Warren, along with Bernie Sanders, is calling for sweeping changes to health care and other government programs. It's a revolution that Biden and several other rivals fear is pushing the party too far to the left. Only 10 candidates out of the crowded Democratic field qualified for the debate, to be held on the campus of Texas Southern University, one of the nation's historically black colleges and universities. Biden announcing the endorsements today of 59 black state legislators from 15 states, underscoring how support from African Americans has solidified his lead. A new CNN poll shows the former vice president holds an overwhelming advantage among black voters, with 42% supporting him, about 4 times as much as Sanders, Warren, and Kamala Harris. And just hours before the debate, Biden reminding voters once again of his loyalty to his partner in the White House, former President Barack Obama.
Barack Obama is an extraordinary man.
Now, it's no surprise that Biden is still clinging tight to President Obama. Of course, he is the most popular Democrat in the party. And Jake, you'll remember at the last debate in Detroit, it was the Obama legacy that, in fact, was being debated. Advisors to all the campaigns are telling us they do not expect that to be quite as sharp. There was a lot of backlash, of course, on the debate of the Obama legacy. But, Jake, one thing is clear. Joe Biden is bringing in his argument for stronger electability. Elizabeth Warren is bringing her plans in. Both of those are likely to get picked apart tonight. Jake?
All right, Jeff Zeleny in Houston right before the debate.
And Mr. Conley, do you think that the fact that vaping allows kids to conceal it better than smoking. You know, Sanjay and I were talking about in a previous segment that some kids are vaping at school. We all know that. Every parent who has a middle school or a high school kid knows that there is a vaping epidemic right now in schools. Even in classes, kids are concealing it and sometimes getting busted for it because obviously it doesn't emit the smoke. So do you think that the device itself is a problem or helping lead to kids using it?
Some of the many things that lead adults to know that vaping is a smarter alternative to smoking and want to make the switch, such as the lack of ash, the lack of a lingering smell, yes, they can make it easier for youth to use the products. But that doesn't mean that prohibition and just opening up a black market, when in the age of the internet, good luck preventing social media and eBay sales continuing, not to mention black market manufacturing. Prohibition isn't going to stop youth from obtaining these products and using them in schools. Prohibition has not stopped a large percentage of youth from continuing to use marijuana, both in legal and illegal states.
Okay, Sanjay, I'll give you the last one.
Can you say for sure this is safe? I mean, this is ultimately what it comes down to.
No one says, no one, that's not what it ultimately comes down to, because this is about harm reduction. The Royal College of Physicians, Public Health England, Cancer Research UK have all said that vaping is at least 95% safer than smoking. Safer. This is about harm reduction and giving smokers a better option than continuing to smoke.
You got 500 people who are sick.
And the FDA agrees these products are far less hazardous.
That's
from contaminated THC.
We just don't know that, Mr. Conley. You're making that leap. We don't know that. I mean, at least not the CDC and the government officials do not. No, they don't. They say. I mean, I just read to you.
The FDA issued a specific warning. The FDA issued a specific warning only about contaminated THC products.
The CDC.
Why did the
American Medical
FDA decide? Why did the
Association
FDA decide that only contaminated THC products warranted a big warning? Why, if the FDA has any concern,
let me just give you one last example.
Mr.
Conley, hold on one second. There's a 17-year-old in Texas right now who is on life support.
Who admitted to vaping THC, I believe.
No, whose mother said that she was using vaping, according to the local media, she was using vaping to stop smoking, exactly what you're suggesting that she do, and she has double pneumonia and she's on life support right now. So my point is this. You are reaching a conclusion that officials have not yet reached. And
lipoid pneumonia comes from inhaling oils. There are no oils in nicotine.
You can also get pneumonia from being a smoker.
Evidence will come out.
Just to be clear,
you can get regular pneumonia. You can't get lipoid pneumonia. Let's be clear.
Let's also be clear. The CDC, the American Medical Association, have said we should not be vaping. This is CDC, the American Medical Association.
The American Medical Association has opposed vaping for 10 years. They are adamantly opposed to any form of tobacco harm reduction for smokers. That should not come as a surprise to anyone familiar with this debate.
Okay. Mr. Conley?
Smokers should know they can save their lives, improve their health by switching to store-bought nicotine vaping products. Don't be scared off by activists who are trying to keep you smoking.
Mr. Conley, you have made your case loud and clear here.
Thank you.
We thank you for coming on New Day. Thanks so much. And Sanjay, thanks so much for explaining the other side.